Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Elodie. This video is going to be just a little bit different. You may have watched my videos for ages, especially if you come from my Snapchat. But this video is just going to be a little bit more personal about who I am. So sit back, maybe grab a few snacks, because I'm about to tell you about my life. So it all started on the 5th of February 2002 at the hospital where I was born. My mum was in a lot of pain, so she was probably sad and crying. Funny how something so small and innocent can cause a lady to scream. And not to forget how she tells me every single birthday how much pain she was in. Everything was running smoothly. Obviously, other than the fact that my mum was probably in a lot of pain. But anyway, the doctors were looking at that little monitor thing, and I was having a little mental breakdown, #diva, in my mum's belly, so they were a bit worried that I could die. They didn't want to tell my mum at first, but obviously they had to. So here's me having my little mental breakdown in my mum's belly. My little diva moment. By the way, I was really hairy. So then they cut my mum's belly open. She was asleep, so it was okay. The doctors had to pull me out and recover me from my little panic attack. The doctor probably said, wow. Actually, he probably said, ew. When I was born, I was really small and skinny, and my eyes went up to my forehead and I had a cone-shaped head. Says my dad it stuck out of the curtains when he was holding me. That's how big my head was. Fun fact, I have a flat bit on the back of my head now. I can never win. Because when babies are born, they're supposed to touch skin. My dad had to put me under his shirt to keep me warm because my mum was so tired from the anaesthetic. She was scared she was going to drop me. I was ugly, but my dad still loved me. Daddy, shut up! I'm recording! As the days went on, I got cuter and cuter, and even though I continued to have my little mental breakdowns and be a diva, all of the nurses thought I was adorable, obviously. Then, on one of my first nights at home, I was sleeping in between my parents, just minding my own business, baby little Elodie. My dad, being restless as usual, nearly killed me, oh gosh. He led on top of me, and obviously my mum was having a mental breakdown, but Mike Tyson, little Mike Tyson me, fought him off, and that's a true story. Since I was a baby, I haven't really learnt to shut up. There was only about 9 months that I didn't talk. Yes, I was 9 months old when I started to talk, which is quite early for babies. And I used to say this over and over again. Mummy, Daddy, Dora, Gate, Darren. Darren's my uncle, by the way. Obviously you'd be like, oh my gosh, wow, Elodie's so intelligent to start talking at that age. Well, I wasn't very active. I only started walking at 2. Me and my family were in Miami and I started walking in the hotel. My mum was working, so unfortunately she missed it. When I was younger, I spent every second of the day with my dad. Well, I did spend time with my mum too. Mummy, if you're watching this, I love you. But I was a daddy's little girl. He'd take me everywhere. Balloon Fiesta, the harbour, the zoo, you name it. That's a monkey, by the way. I even touched a python when I was 2. My mum was there to witness this, but she wasn't there to witness it. She was with us, but she's afraid of snakes, so she was gone. When I was younger, my parents owned a timeshare near Centre Parks. If you don't know what Centre Parks is, it's kind of like a family holiday place where families go with their little kids. It was basically in the countryside and the house was massive and I loved it. We had a patio window and I remember the ducks from the pond nearby would gather outside the window. I loved it and I wanted my dad to take me to the pond. My dad did take me to feed the ducks one day with an old loaf of bread that was gone off. Rather than feeding the ducks, I fed myself and I ate a lot of the bread. My dad was probably a bit concerned and had to take it off me before I ate any more. I started infant nursery at about 10 months old. The nursery belonged to my dad's work. The work was something to do with the army and my dad was an engineer. There was a pond there too. I probably ate the duck's bread as well. Not long after that, my dad became sick again. He was already ill before I was born with a brain tumour, but recovered. But he started to feel unwell again and had to leave work. This was hard for both me and my mum. Me because I couldn't go out with my dad like I used to, and my mum because she had to deal with getting all the money by herself. My mum had already left her previous work before I was born. She wanted to make sure that she was there with me as I grew up. She started her own business on the computer, where she built other people's websites and became an influential speaker. That's where I get my inspiring talks from. Because she worked from home, sometimes money was a bit slow, but she pulled through and always made sure I was cared for. When I was about 5, I started proper school out September. That's what I used to say. I discovered my love for art and being creative. I did drama, I did the choir, and I played the violin for a bit. I didn't really like that, but I did pick up the piano. Also, I was an insane teacher's pet. I was afraid of getting in trouble, afraid of even being told to stop talking. I did exactly what the teacher told me, all the time. When I was in year 4, my mum was struggling for me to get enough money to stay in school, because it was a private school. They made me leave until my mum had enough money to pay. I missed my friends so much. I was off school for about a month or more. I was off school then, in year 7 and in year 9. I also wasn't allowed to go on my school trip to France in year 6, which I was so excited to go to because I hadn't been abroad since I was a baby, so I didn't remember it. However, without fail, my mum would fight until she got me back there. But I missed my first 3 weeks of secondary school because of the same thing. It wasn't that hard for me though, because I went to the same school, but it was just separate from the primary school. I had all my same friends, and it wasn't different for me because I already knew the school. From about year 3, I had quite a low self-esteem. I started puberty really early. Year 3, yeah I know, really early. My boobs were way bigger than everyone's. I went through an ugly phase so early, and my teeth stuck out so much. Luckily I got braces, but I started getting spots in about year 5. They were really bad and I was so embarrassed because everyone in my school hadn't started puberty yet. I went to the doctors and he gave me a gel, but it made it even worse. It made my skin so dry and horrible. But I discovered YouTube and it did help my spots a lot. I do still get spots now, but nowhere near as bad as they were. In year 9, I started to become really unhappy at school. I was constantly tired and I kept having what I thought were panic attacks. Honestly, I was so unsociable and I never wanted to go anywhere. I was scared to talk to anyone. I went to the doctor so many times, and I was right, I had anxiety. School was just draining and I really lost myself. When I would have panic attacks, it felt like no one could help me get them better. I would just cry and shake, and it was one of the hardest times of my life because I really just didn't know who I was anymore. My parents knew that I was really unhappy, and that I didn't like school and that I wanted to move. They thought about it for a long time and made their decision that they should take me out of school. So I left school. They weren't sure what I was going to do next. I was at that school for my whole life, really. I was there for 11 years and I didn't know anything other than that school. So it was kind of hard just to leave and just to let go, even though I wasn't happy. However, when I did leave school, it was very good for me because I needed that rest, and I was glad that I could just be home and just relax for a little bit. My pen ran out and I had to use blue. After coming home from school and being told that I wasn't going back on the Monday, I went straight on my phone and typed up online school, homeschooling online, blah 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 blah. I was obsessed with homeschooling. I seen it all over YouTube, all the big YouTubers doing online school, and I wanted to do it. I talked to my parents about it at first and they were like, not sure, but I influenced them into doing it. That's my mum on the left, by the way. She has a different hairstyle at this time. When I started the school, I was so excited. I was finally able to do the one thing that I've been wanting to do for years. And then I realised that it wasn't really teaching me anything. I didn't even pay attention to the classes because I had no motivation. So I started to become a bit unhappy again, and also I was kind of lonely. I didn't have any friends. So I left my school. At this time it was the summer, so I wasn't really thinking about where I would be going in the next school year. And then the months kept creeping and I realised it was nearly September and I hadn't applied for a school. So before September started, my dad tried to contact all the schools that I wanted to go to. But obviously it was the summer, no one was there to answer. This was even more stressful for me because I didn't know the school I was going to, so it was just a new environment. I didn't want to be late to start a new school. When September did come around and I realised that I'd missed the first few days of school, the schools were taking so long to respond, and it took me up to the 16th of September to get a place in a new school. This was really hard for me because when I started this new school, It wasn't like my old schools when I joined late. I already knew everyone, but here I knew no one. I only knew a few people. Then I started to get to know everyone a bit more, so it was okay. When I left my old school in about April, I started making Snapchat videos, just everyday ones about random things. Even after the first couple of videos I ever did, I started getting people saying really nice stuff about it. It was really weird. I never thought people would find me funny or inspiring. I started getting more and more known, and I'd walk down the street and people would know who I was. It was really surreal to me. Obviously, it was all fun while it lasted, because I started getting people saying really horrible things about my videos. They said that I should just stop, or I'm annoying, or I'm ugly, blah 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 blah, and it did actually hurt me for a bit. I stopped making videos, and I just started to try and fit in or be normal. That wasn't me, and I realised that it wasn't. It was okay for a while because I wasn't getting any hate, but I realised that I wasn't getting as many views as I was. I dropped by half of my views on Snapchat. I realised that I don't care what people think about me. I just had to be myself. So I started making videos on Snapchat again. Everyone loved them, commenting that I should do a YouTube channel. I thought about it, but I wasn't sure. I started YouTube a few times before, but I deleted it after because I wasn't sure if that was what I wanted to do. Because it was completely normal for everyone to have a Snapchat. Me talking on it was weird, but not as weird as having a YouTube and talking on that. So I wasn't sure if I was ready to do that. In the end, I did make a YouTube. And I loved it. Everyone was just saying so much nice stuff about it. Over the course of a few months, I've been hearing things that people have been saying about me. My friends have been telling me what they've been saying. So I decided to make a Snapchat video about it. I got a lot of good feedback. I was talking about how wrong bullying was, and how I didn't appreciate when people were saying things about me when they really don't know my life. I decided to post it on Facebook because I felt like it was really relatable to a lot of people. A lot of people get bullied, and I thought it was something that needed to be addressed. Me being able to have a voice and to say what was on my mind, say my opinions, not only helped probably a lot of people who watched the video, it really did help me. My mum one day said, "Elodie, you realise that you have nearly 3,000 views on that video." I was completely shocked. I never thought that people would come back and say so many nice things to me, that they would actually share it on their own Facebook. It was absolutely amazing to me, and I never thought that would happen. From then on, I've continued to make Snapchat stories. I've continued to make YouTube videos. This journey has taught me so much about myself, and without it, I don't think I would be able to open up and be true to myself. So what's now? YouTube, school, family and friends. YouTube is probably the big one for me because I want to become successful, and also social media. School, yes, if I have to. I mean, you gotta pass it. And also family. Family is really important to me. Without my mum and dad, I wouldn't be here today, obviously. Friends, I'm still trying to figure that out, if I'm honest. But I'll find some friends soon. Also, in school for me, my mindset has changed. Yes, I want to do well in my GCSEs. Yes, I want to pass and I want to go to college. But when teachers stuff down my throats, be a lawyer, be a doctor. No, I want to be a YouTuber. I want to do something different. So, the moral of this story, the moral of my life, be yourself. No matter where you come from, no matter who you are, you can make it big, you can make a change in this world. Use your weirdness, be different. That's what the world needs. I've overcome hard times. I've been at my weakest points, but I've used them to be stronger. And so can you. Honestly, thank you guys all for helping me make this happen. Without you guys, I wouldn't be doing a YouTube, I wouldn't be doing Snapchat. You've helped me realise who I am. You've helped me not want to try to be someone different. Thank you all so much. Thank you for all being a part of this journey. I'll see you all next week. Love you guys.